Hey guys, welcome back. Today we have the S-53 Superratchet by Williams. Before we start, if you like this content, please give me a like, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. That helps me out a lot. Okay, back to the Williams. J.H. Williams and Co. USA Superratchet. This is a long ratchet. This is almost 15 inches long, so it's approaching almost breaker bar territory. It's very long. Let's look at the head. That's the profile. The switch. The letters are engraved except for this B right here, which is raised. Okay, let's take a look inside. For this one, it has this retention ring here. It keeps the mechanism in place. It has these 4 kind of grooves here. Some people say you can take a watch opener and open it up and put the prongs in there and open and swing it out and loosen it. Yeah, that might work if this was well lubricated and has been sitting around for years and not rusted. Then yeah, that would probably break it open pretty quick. But if you get one of these, you're probably gonna have to put some penetrating oil in the groove here around the ring, and gently, little by little, take like a little hammer and a screwdriver and tap it back and forth until it gives, because these have grooves in them, and if you go too heavy with a big hammer and you keep pounding and pounding and pounding, you most likely are going to strip out those grooves. And once this is stripped out, it's pretty much unusable, because those grooves are what's keeping this ring and keeping the mechanism from falling out. So take it easy, don't go too hard. Little by little should do it. This one's already not too tight, so I might be able to do it with my fingers. Let me see. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to tap it a little bit. There we go. See, you can see the grooves there. See the grooves for the ring. That's the ring that holds the mechanism in. Those are the grooves. And like in my other video, this, like in the S-52 video, the S-53 is pretty much the same, except it has a slightly different mechanism. But the housing is pretty much the same. The mechanism sits in like this cup, and the anvil just goes through it, but the rest of the mechanism sits in the cup. And here's a look inside the body. These are the teeth. Here are your grooves for the ring, the retention ring. And the teeth only, they sit in the middle of the housing. There's space in the back, and there's space here for the grooves in the ring. To take apart the mechanism, what I usually do is pull out the switch a little bit to where there's a gap. Now I press down on the pawls that are sticking up. Press down on the pawls that are sticking up. And I twist and I put the ball bearings underneath these posts. I put the ball bearings underneath there. Now I slide out carefully. I slide out the switch, but remember that these ball bearings are under pressure and they want to fly out, so I try to cup the openings with my fingers so the balls won't go flying too far. Okay, there we are. Here are the ball bearings. There's one on each side. And there's a spring here in the middle. And here's a look at the switch. The switch is indented on the two sides. There's the hole for the ball bearings and the spring. These two indents correspond to the two pawl posts that are sticking out. And when they're together, that's what keeps the switch from going all the way over. Those two indents and the slightly raised pawls. And now you just remove the posts. supposed to look like. And the paw. And what the paws look like. Three teeth on each paw. And the bottom paw, the post. And the other paw. Here's a look at the mechanism housing. This ball detent. Seems a little loose, not the tightest. The anvil. Okay, to put this back together, you take your paw, put it in, line the holes, take your post, put that in. It's not going to go all the way in because it has to, the post has to stick out a little bit. So if it doesn't go all the way in, that's the way it's supposed to be. And you take your second paw, you put that in, and your second post. Okay, this is going to be the tricky part, is to get the switch back on. Put the spring in the middle, put the ball bearing on, one of the ball bearings on the bottom. You prop the ball bearing on the bottom on the edge, on a slight angle like that. You take the top ball bearing and you put it on top of the spring. And it's working. Switching back and forth. You see the ball bearings peeking out from each side. And to finish up, take the mechanism, put it back into the housing. It's working. You take your retention ring, put it back in place. Make sure you're not cross-threading. And just slip it back on. I just do it finger tight. I don't go crazy. If you want to be a little bit more secure, I would just take maybe a punch or a little screwdriver and give it very light tap just to make sure it's secure. But other than that, I wouldn't go crazy and try to over torque this. Like I said, the threads, if you destroy the threads, it's pretty much gone. So there you have it. That's the teardown of the S-53 Superratchet by J.H. Williams & Co. USA. Okay, thanks a lot.